Let's try to record this for a sec. Okay. All right, try this again. Cross your fingers. So that tells me the alignment is towed in more on the driver's side, I believe. Yeah, means this wheel is towed out. So it's like this at normal ride. So it's normally like that. So it's allowing for the wheel to even come out even further than the driver's side. That's why that's touching. I'll show you something sweet anyways though. Look at that beautiful dash. Minus the work that needs to be done to it. Do a little walk around on this guy here. We've got a replica billet aluminum steering wheel, which is beautiful. We got Classic Instruments gauges, miles per hour, 0 kilometers. We got RPM down there, a little nice tachometer. We've got temp, fuel, oil, and volts. And this is set up for an LS engine and transmission. So this is not actually touching, but it's very close. So I've temporarily just put a little bit of towel and tape there just to hold it, prevent it from rubbing. This is Restamod AC controls, looking perfect. This is an LS Fabrication billet aluminum dash. This is their Phantom dash. It runs right across, full length of it, as you can see. So they've added this piece, that piece, and they've extended this from here normally over to there to wrap around the cluster. Looks pretty sweet. This is a Lockhart billet aluminum shifter. So this is a transmission case mounted shifter. Considering changing this to the floor mount to prevent the vibrations from transmitting into the shifter handle, but we'll see. That can be done at a later time. These are cut out, this one poorly because it caught on a well in the backside and it screwed me up. So I'm gonna have to correct that, but these are cut out slightly smaller than they need to be, but there's gonna be billet aluminum vents in there from Restamod, same guys that make this. And this is a CPP steering column. So we'll see how that guy does. If it doesn't work out very well, we may or may not have to switch it out for a Flaming River. We'll see. And then this is the original factory stereo. These are just holding this guy in temporarily because I don't know what I'm doing with the stereo. I haven't made up my mind yet. I have some ideas, but I haven't found anything that suits it. So, but with the setup as is, this is cruising position right here, sitting nice and relaxed, hand sitting on the shifter and just hand on the steering wheel. Perfect. I have added non-factory side view mirrors. These guys right here, looking awfully pretty. Both sides. That one's not adjusted, obviously. Okay, let's try to dial that in. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that where I need it. Might have to play around with that. But those are visible from the vent windows, and the vent windows have both just been ordered. So using the original vent windows that run up here, I can see it if I lean forward, or I can see it if I lean around the vent window, which will be good. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Give you a quick walk around. We got the Altman latch kit. So I've used the passenger side on the driver's door and the driver's door on the passenger side to flip them upside down. And by flipping them upside down, it moves this actuator arm down low, and it doesn't actually run up across here. See this wear mark? That was previously from this last actuator on the factory latch. So by doing that, the hinge stays recessed down into the door panel so that when you mount your door card on here, it doesn't bulge out from this arm running across there. So this is the Altman latch kit. So it's a bear claw latch. So that guy right there, this guy right here, listen to this, solid. Step back, still lots of work to be done on this guy here, but take a look. Perfect, every time. Solid. I cut off the original drip rails, scavenged some new ones from another truck that was in better shape, cleaned them up, removed all the rust, and welded them back on. All the imperfections and blemishes that need to be worked on are now highlighted. So I'm gonna have to go through, I'm gonna have to weld some strips in there because I don't want to do lead. I don't know how to do lead. That needs to be corrected a little bit. I got some of the original lead right here that had rust underneath it. You'll see that. Should have got that before I welded this bugger on, but hindsight. Some little guys here. Not really noticeable, but whatever you do to the metal, you can avoid having to do later with Bondo, which is ideal. Little guy here. Another one there. I got to fill these holes. There was previously, I believe, some kind of antenna, I think may have been here. I can't remember. But that was the original 3100 insignia for the model number, but it's not really important anymore. I do want to retain the factory 50s badges because they are sweet. Some more damage here that needs to be dealt with. I need a planishing hammer or planishing hammer, however you want to pronounce it. That guy needs to be purchased so I can clean those guys up. Small little dings and dents here. Running boards are not mounted. They're just sitting there currently. Rear cab corners have not been fixed. I wanted to ensure that the front alignment of all the body panels was correct before I fitted the door. And before I fitted the door, or before I did the rear cab corner, I wanted to fit the door. So it's kind of a cascading effect from the front of the truck back. Again, some blemishes. These are going to be kind of a bugger to get at because I have a body panel on the inside here that's preventing me from getting to those. Not a big deal, I'll figure it out somehow, I'm sure. Rear fenders are in okay shape. Still don't know if I'm going to keep these guys or if I'm just going to get new ones and fit them. We'll see. I did go with a new box because that is dozens of man hours to straighten out steel. And those are the original ones with holes cut out for the wheels. This used to be the rear box cross member. So what I did is I actually had a custom piece of steel cut out in that exact same shape. As the face, I cut off the, what is essentially the face of it here. And that is now a brand new piece of steel right here. See where I cut that off? Right here. So I actually did leave a little bit of a lip on this guy. I retained enough steel for that one to be able to weld that on there, so that's nice and clean. That is a custom fuel tank made locally by a fabricator here. That is a beginner's attempt at triangulated rear suspension, which turned out quite well, in my opinion. The frame rails all need to be finish welded, which is not that big of a deal. I learned once where you don't finish welding until you verify everything fits and sits exactly how it should. So these guys are not fully welded. The boxing plates on the rear are not fully welded. You'll notice that there. These need to be tapped to hold the fuel tank down. The 9-inch, I believe, is sitting at the correct angle for drive angle. The fuel filler has been mostly welded. It needs to be finished and then cleaned up. Some more dents on the back here that need to be corrected. This fender is beat to hell. Quite a bit of rot in there. This was a gigantic dent. I straightened most of it out, but it actually weakened the metal so much that it actually split. So I don't know what's gonna happen when I try to weld that. It might just burn through it. We'll see. Try to clean this up. I think that looks like shit. That was my welding. I'm gonna have to do that over, but we'll see. Same thing with this. This was a huge rust hole that was previously brazed, I believe, with bronze. Oh, what else do we got here? This is the door lock. So previously they had a door lock on the passenger side. I think I'm actually gonna move that to the driver's side, or I might delete them and put electric locks on this thing, because there will be electric locks on it, and so I most likely don't need that, but we'll see. The drip rail passenger door has not been finished yet. You'll see that. So what I'll be able to do is get at this rust on the underside of this lead work here. I might have to blow the rust off there with a wire wheel or something to get at that. We'll see. Wear a mask for that one. The roof is in pretty good shape. There are some really deep-seated rust patches on here, mostly cleaned off, but I'll still have to get them with some kind of acid, I think. Those little dings and dents. There was one right there. I got most of it. There's a big one on the driver's side. You'll notice that big circle that I made there. What else do we got here? Same thing, continue on. Fill that with steel, eliminate the use of lead. Actually remove these because they are a moisture hazard. And I do like the look of them, so we'll see what we can do there. This fender is probably the worst of all of them. Looks like the guy sideswiped something all the way across there. Some small dents in there. That needs to be cut out and replaced. I'm not going with that, that looks terrible. Fill these holes again, just like the last side. Small little dents there, little guy. This one, looks like it got hammered from the inside out, so I'll have to correct that. But it is a work in progress. And it'll eventually be a sweet ride. I'll give you a full-on look at this bag. Yeah, look at that. If you can't appreciate that, then I don't want to be friends. That is, mind my language, but that is fucking sweet. I would love to drop it another ½ inch. But I think for drivability, if I'm actually gonna use this thing, this will be my shop truck, because I do plan on building something else. I do think I'm gonna have to leave it as is. It's very disappointing. I think my next one's getting airbags. I'll show you something neat that I'm sure everyone's kind of curious about. See if I can get this hood open. There we go. Stand by. It doesn't have hood struts installed yet, so I gotta mount the hood, or mount, support it, sorry. some light here for you. Alrighty. This is the engine that I've built. There's an aluminum 5.3, bunch of internal work done to it to make it last a little bit longer, fully rebuilt. Those are old 50s valve covers. Those are beautiful. I love those. And I did do the stainless steel steering shaft. This guy here, so the headers that I've ordered should clear this. If not, I will have to add another joint further down to be able to drop it, and then add a, I forgot what it's called, thing that mounts to here that holds the shaft from rotating out. So this is a Cadillac Oldsmobile air cleaner. I'm running Holley fuel rails. I'm running the whole Holley Terminator kit. That is a standard Corvette, I believe it is the LS1 water pump with ICT billet aluminum serpentine kit. So that is the turbo kit. Right there, that ICT. So this turbo kit mounts the alternator high tucked in so that you're able to mount your headers so they actually come out here. But I'm not running a turbo. This is naturally aspirated, but it cleans it up and keeps it looking similar to a 350, which is kind of what we're going for. Smooth, full firewall on this guy here. It does have Mustang 2 suspension on the front of it, which is sweet. Disc brakes all around, big bore calipers, so it should stop pretty good. This guy's gonna get Hydro Boost. Hydro Boost is getting mounted behind the firewall, keep it clean. Not along the floor because I'm gonna have no room with my long tube headers. And this whole thing is sitting pretty far in the frame, so. We'll see here, I did custom cab mounts on this guy here to keep it symmetrical and make it look a little bit better so it doesn't look all stupid and shitty. And we've got an aluminum radiator. Currently the shroud, this guy here, is still plastic wrapped because there's no sense in peeling that off till it's built. That is the Holley, I think it's called the Frostbite AC kit. So it comes with the full radiator. It's a 4-core radiator with the fan and the shroud all as one. So they are supposed to mount here, but as you'll notice, I already have tight enough clearance as is. So I actually had to move the mount point from the front or the back of this guy here to this guy here. And what that did is it actually moved the whole guy about 2.5, 3 inches over forward. So it provided the clearance that I needed. What that did is it made so I had to cut this guy. I still think I might actually remove a little bit more because that is still sitting too close. But you'll notice if you look in here, you can see my radiator. And by moving it forward on the rad mount, this lower shroud here, this guy here, had to get corrected. You see all that new steel in there? So it actually originally came up to that mount, but my radiator being moved forward actually came in contact with it, so I had to get corrected. Currently the rad support is sitting on bearings because I had to figure out the correct separation from the rad support to the radiator frame, or the rad cross member to the rad support, whatever you want to call it. So it turned out to be 1.5 inches for height. So now I can fabricate a appropriate spacer. But by putting the whole front together, before I built a whole bunch of shit and did final welding, what that allowed me to do is That doesn't want to sit properly, of course, as I'm about to show you that. And that is due to the radiator support not bearing the weight because it's not fully fastened. So if I go like this, see where I'm putting my jack. I'm gonna put my jack right there. Right there. So, see that piece of wood right there? There we go. Alright. Still looks a little funky because I dropped the weight of that hood on this damn thing. Shouldn't have done that. I think I may have bent something. That's not good. Either way, when that's held down nice and tight with the pressure of the latch, once it's correctly fixed, these gaps do look very good. They run across there. Right now that looks like shit. It will look better. I'll be able to dial that in. Yeah, so that's that. That is my 1951 Chevy 3100. Thanks, guys.